YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. Updated rookie rankings heading into week 6. We started these last week, and we're going to update these every single week. So I'm excited to see the movement from last week to this week, who entered in the conversation. Top 10 in these videos. You get top 25 if you're a Twitter super follower. All kinds of bonus content on there, ranking every quarterback every single week. Ranked the top 5 players by position this past week. We'll update those once in a while. Playoff predictions updated once in a while. All kinds of content every single week. Follow our Twitter or become a super follower by clicking that link for our Twitter pin in the comments. Links also in the comments for our Picks League GLD shop. Currently rocking their Buffalo Bills helmet pendant with chain there. So check it out. Link for them. Pin in the comments. And they just had some new releases with player jerseys. They're pretty sick. I'm definitely gonna have to cop some of these for sure. Code GOAT for 33% off, and that link, you don't have to go to our Twitter for it. There's a link pinned in the comments there. So some sick stuff. Let's go on to the rookie rankings. Some updated graphics. I'm really excited about these here. Heading into week 6, again, Twitter super followers get the top 25 plus a bunch of more content rankings, all kinds of things there. Stardom, Stidham for fantasy. But number 10, a new entry, Jack Jones, and he's up 11 spots because, again, the super followers get top 25. He was in the top 25 last week, but barely, because even though he had a really good game 2 weeks ago against the Packers, got a pick 6 against Aaron Rodgers, but he didn't have too many snaps under his belt, so it was tough to rank him with guys that have been starting every week. But a starter once again this past week against the Detroit Lions, and he had another fantastic outing. And you got to factor in that the Patriots are playing mainly man coverage, which is a very, very difficult thing to do for cornerbacks. And Jack Jones, who was a late round sleeper, really thought, a lot of people thought he was a late round guy or wasn't going to get drafted because of off the field issues. But Patriots take a shot on him. They see something, his ability to play man coverage, and he has worked really well in the Bill Belichick scheme over there. And you see why they let guys walk in free agency, and they bring in guys like this. They see something when it comes to those corners. So Jack Jones, despite being somewhat limited in snaps compared to a lot of these guys, has been fantastic. But it was tough to rank him last week because he was very limited in snaps, but he started again this past week, so that was great. Trayvon Walker, number 9, he's going to be down 3 spots. And a lot of these guys, because we're only ranking 10 in this video, so it's really a select few. They're all very good. A lot of these guys, when they move down, it's really not, most time it's not what they did. It's mostly what other guys did to go up ahead of them. So Walker had a solid game. Wasn't crazy productive, but you got to factor in that he's definitely involved in stopping the run, and he moves around, and he'll play outside linebacker, drop back, and coverage at times as well. So pretty impressive overall, and you see why he was taken first, the versatility. Jalen Petrie, pretty effective outing there. I mean, all over the place, making tackles. Just other guys kind of had to move up, so that's why he ended up moving down 1 spot, but nothing he really did. Just other guys had incredible outings. So Petrie still in the same range where he was last week. So the Texans, Texans and Jags, some of their rookies, we've been kind of highlighting a bit when it comes to these rookie rankings. Next up, we see the next 3 guys. Zion Johnson moves up 5 spots. So last week, he just missed the cut of the top 10. If you're a super follower, you saw he was right there, just missing the cut, of course, and ranked very highly on the next group, the 11 through 25. Now he's up 5 spots to number 7. He's been very good for the Chargers. I was very high on him at Boston College. I know a lot of people had him highly ranked in terms of the interior offensive lineman, but saw this week they were able to run Eckler and Kelly very effectively, and it starts with Zion Johnson on the inside. Very good run blocker, and he's been very solid as a pass protector as well. Hasn't given up a sack yet. Hasn't been penalized yet. That's big time. So if he continues this, it's just going to get more. It's going to be more and more like wow, like not surprising, but like wow if he continues to not give up a sack, continues to getting penalized. That's actually a big one for me. So it's like if he continues that or he keeps it limited, he's gonna continue to soar up these rankings here. So Zion Johnson of the Chargers, I love that pick at the time. I love the fit, and it looks like they hit on that one. So he's number 7, up 5 spots. Breece Hall up 7 to number 6. So he was the guy that just missed the cut after last week as well. But he had a monster game against the Miami Dolphins with both running the football and catching the ball downfield, we saw. So, especially as a running back, being productive, You need to be productive on the ground. Check. He was in that game. And today's NFL, to be valued as a back, you have to catch the ball, in the backfield and downfield. And check, he did that as well. So I love to see. He's been pretty productive, but this really helped him take that next step up. And again, you love the combination of being involved in the run and pass game there. So big time weapon. Maybe could be like a mismatch problem we see when linebackers got to go guard him, or if he leaks out into the flat. Teams are more focused on other guys, the other receivers that the Jets have. So big sneaky piece of that offense. He was my number one running back in this draft class. I'm excited to see him get going here. So he's up 7 spots, number 6. Tariq Woolen's going to stay put at number 5. He's been fantastic. We thought that was a steal for the Seahawks, but we thought he was kind of a raw prospect, like he's going to be really good in the future. But man, he's really taken off already. And he uses his length and his speed to the best that he can there, and it's been big for him, really. So he's staying put at number 5. Seahawks defense has really struggled. They've given up a bit, but it's weird. You think it'd be because like a young corner like Woolen, but it's really not. Maybe they're just not getting enough pass rush, and Adams getting hurt really kind of changed their defense in a way. They run a specific defense with Adams in there, so that was big. But Woolen has played very well, and has not been at all the weak spot of that defense. So been extremely impressive. So he stays put at 5. Some of these corners have been very impressive here. There's a lot of them that just missed the cut. Quite a few in the highly ranked in that 11 through 25 for me. Next, Chris Olave is a tough one too. He goes down 1 spot. Again, it's not anything he did. He had a pretty good game. He exited the game with a scary concussion there, which he scored on. He had 50 or so yards and a touchdown. It's a really good outing for a rookie receiver, and he's been staying consistent. Just guys just had to move. Well, actually, he moved down 1 spot because Dameon Pierce had to move up. Dameon Pierce, we'll talk about him, but he goes to number 2. Devin Lloyd was my number 1 guy last week. I thought he had a pretty solid outing as well. Jaguars played some really good defense against the Texans. It's just some of these guys that were in the range, and we only have only 5 games to go off. So one big spark, like big time performance, one game could with these guys that are very close to the top, really could boost them over the top, and we saw that from a couple guys here. So yeah, Olave had a really good outing. It's just Dameon Pierce had to move up, and I don't know, I didn't really feel that. Well, the guy I have at 1 is at 1, and then the guy at Devin Lloyd, I didn't feel like moving him down 3 spots. So Olave 4, Devin Lloyd at 3. They've been fantastic. Very good first round picks. Dameon Pierce at number 2. He's been outstanding for the Texans. It's crazy they barely touched the ball in week 1. Then all of a sudden they were like, they would have won that game. They should have won that game. They would have won that game if they used Dameon Pierce more, mainly using Burkhead. I guess maybe they wanted to ease him into it, but I don't know. And they start using him as their lead back, no question. And he's been fantastic. He ran very well against the Chargers 2 weeks ago. And last week against the Jags, a defensive game that needed somebody to step up. It was about who was going to step up and make that play. Dameon Pierce did it. He got them in the end zone. Not just a field goal, too. Let's go put this game away. Well, technically it wasn't put away, but let's go get in a comfortable spot where it's either we win or go into overtime. And Pierce went crazy, in that last drive with those angry runs there. So Pierce was strongly considered to be number 1. I was back and forth with my number 1, number 2. These guys were kind of 1A, 1B, but Dameon Pierce has been fantastic. A violent, physical runner, and kind of can hit those home runs as well. So you kind of see why wasn't Florida using them? They were playing from down, so they had to pass the ball a lot. But I keep going back to that Georgia game, the best defense maybe of all time, in my opinion, in college football. And when Pierce played him, I watched the tape on that game. He got 9 carries. Top of my head, I'm pretty sure it was 9 carries. And I bet you those Georgia Bulldogs defenders, who a lot of them are in the NFL or studs right now in college, still remember Dameon Pierce as much as any running back, because those were some physical runs, really good runs. So, he's been just absolutely outstanding. And then number 1 has got to be Sauce Gardner here, but it's pretty close between him and Dameon Pierce. But Sauce Gardner has been, we see why he was a top cornerback, and he wasn't in the top 1 drafted, but on most people's boards, top cornerback. in the draft. And the Jets, he's such a perfect fit in that defense, and they mix up their coverages a little bit. You're able to do that when you get a guy like Sauce Gardner with his experience playing man coverage at Cincinnati, playing cover two, playing pretty much all of the above. We saw a lot of those first two, though. So the Jets are able to mix everything up, different zone coverages, man coverages, and Sauce Gardner is able to lock down the receiver that he's on. And every part of the game, every part of the game is pretty damn impressive for Sauce Gardner. I mean, you can't really pick something that's like stands out the most because everything you ask of a corner is pretty damn impressive. So, Gardner comes in at number one. Has been absolutely a lockdown. Big reason for the Jets having success on defense. And usually corners aren't this good right away. But he's been extremely impressive. He'll be in the rankings that the super followers get, but another corner, Kyer Elam of the Buffalo Bills, really getting going lately too. Got an interception last week, and he's been really good in terms of the tackling department. Getting the ball carrier down, so he's been really good in that. So if he kind of keeps it up, based on what he's been playing the last 2 weeks, he's going to be in here. He's a little easier maybe for him, playing a lot of cover two, kind of sitting in the flat a little bit. So coverages definitely plays a part for me, and maybe why he just missed the cut. But some of these corners, Derek Stingley ended up stepping up this past week as well. Some of these corners have played very, very well. And it used to be like back in the day, it used to be corners. It's like right away they are going to struggle. They are going to struggle, but they'll be good. Don't count them out right away. But lately, I mean, look at last year with Surtain and J.C. Horn as well, and Diggs coming out a couple years ago, A.J. Terrell in that same draft class. It's different. It's different these days, and you see that. You see that with these rankings. You see Gardner, you see Woolen, you see Jack Jones, and Elam is a just missed there, and Derek Stingley not too far off. So very impressive. But big fan of these new graphics, by the way. I think they're pretty cool. So Sauce, number one, Dameon Pierce is coming, though. He moved up 2 spots. That number 2 spot's kind of like a 1A, 1B situation. But another running back kind of challenging Pierce. Breece Hall, you like to see him kind of get involved in the receiving game. Zion Johnson, if he continues to, like, if he just goes another week without getting up a sack and a penalty, it's just that more like, again, like I said, like, wow, like if it's another week, doing that. So he's in a sore if he continues to do that stuff. And Jack Jones, too. Jack Jones, remember, he's kind of limiting the snaps. It kind of had to really think about it. Like a guy that has less snaps than everyone else, and do I rank him up here, even though he's been incredible in those limited snaps? But once he kind of adds it up, he gets that more and more play under his belt, which he's kind of doing right now, and continues to play the way he does. Another guy that could absolutely soar up the rankings, and Jack Jones. I mean, who would have thought, too, coming into the season? So, some impressive players here. Let me know your rankings, your thoughts. We'll be on Twitter we always discuss with everyone, interact with everyone, live news, rumors, and updates on our Twitter, Echoes NFL is a link pinned in the comments, but super followers get bonus rankings and things, kind of Twitter format there, not video, and always adding more to that. Always adding more content here, thinking of more stuff. Starting to get some of that trade talk going on. We had a recent trade video. We're going to probably have more, especially around the deadline there. So we got all kinds of content, not just the weekly picks and power rankings, score predictions, things like that. We got more than just that. So join us, subscribe, turn notifications on. Again, looking forward to hearing your guys' thoughts on these videos, whether it's the comments section or on Twitter, where we can, discuss. Any link you're looking for, pin in the comments, as always. That's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.